Well, okay, and hello again, all you lucky people out here in YouTube land. Just wanted to let you know that this is another video, like you haven't figured it out. Anyway, in this video, I'm sorry it's kind of long and boring at the end of it. Well, at the last half, or the last 3/4 of it. There's a lot of comparisons. I finally got the data for the second CT that was done in December when I went in for an acute pancreatic attack. And I was fortunate enough that the rose-looking structure on the subclavian came out on that one. So you'll get to see that. And also I included a couple other short scans. They're pretty useless. Maybe the MRI has some indications of junior in it, but not that I could really tell myself, being that I'm really not sure how to read the MRI without any absolute certainty. Not until I could compare it with a CT, which this is going to be kind of like a bad Star Wars sequel, being that I'm going to tell you the ending. Well, spoilers. I'm going to tell you the ending of this video, and that is I did meet up with a doctor, and I did tell the doctor what I'm going to say on this video. I did basically indicate to him nothing. I went over there and tried a new strategy today when I saw my new primary doctor, and he instantly did an order for a chest CT with contrast. So here I'll probably have 3 copies with no acknowledgement, but anyway, like I said, this is kind of a long, boring video, unless you like looking at all the technical stuff and all the graphics and everything. But other than that, that's the basic gist of the whole shebang. So, welcome back, and let's get on with the horrific fascination. It's another month in the life of omitting physicians. We're up to 19 now, with the last 3 being infectious disease specialists. In this video, I will be sharing a CT which was performed at a local ER this past December when I went in for an acute pancreatic attack. Even the ER specialists missed the big honkin' flower structure on my subclavian, probably due to it not being an area of interest. And so I don't know, it's right there. I don't see how they could have missed it. They did note in my report that the cardio had no abnormalities, except for my lower lung tips had a mild collapse, a atyl lactasis, or anyway, and of course, my pancreas. But other than that, might partially explain why it's so painful to breathe at times. Anyway, so far, as I said, the count is 19 zeros. And 0 heroes. No heroes here to report. Well, except for my my pain management doctor. He's been trying to do his best. In a later video, I'll get into the symptoms in a little more detail. And, as usual, and as always, just showing one image of Junior to the last 6 doctors usually results in responses like this. So I'll show a different perspective of Junior to another doctor, and I'll get something like this. And so I figure, well, I'll try I'll try another perspective, but sometimes this happens, and then of course I'm so I don't know. I'll go as far as to even try a whole different perspective of Junior, to ask what it might be, and sometimes I'll get a response kind of like this. But then there are some doctors will react as if they call the CDC for assistance. They'll be exposed as if to have cheated on their medical exams to be doctors. These visits are usually are met with no follow-ups, no suggestions, no referrals. Some have canceled and refused appointments just after one look. And all refuses have a common basis of not performing a single test, no labs, no exams, no biopsies, not even a seance. These people. So in essence, most of them are basically just running away from any kind of responsibility or any assistance, of being any assistance whatsoever. They're just running away. You might call it cowardly. One of the most recent doctors stated my case was actually too complicated for him to be my PCP. And again, without lifting a finger for effort, none have been willing to logically acknowledge this anomaly. No, not that one. No, not that one either. But yeah, that one. Sure, okay. There's a 99% chance none of the doctors can treat Junior due to the extent by which it has spread throughout my upper torso, with possibly intracranial progression as well. But there still exists, that 1% by which, typical, unless all medical responses are typically, obstinately obtuse, unless these people are just too prideful, or maybe they are, maybe they did cheat on their medical exams. There's real no reason to ignore this. And now that there's a second CT that I'm going to demonstrate, both of them here in a little while, there's just no excuse for them not to go there and take a biopsy into custody. Or at least, contact the CDC for assistance. It would seem they rather would wait to see what kind of creature this thing turns me into. I just, like I say, I don't understand what they're waiting for. It's been almost 2 years now. And unless they're just waiting to see if this thing's going, if they're just waiting to see if, to take pieces of it for sampling after it just plain kills me. I just don't believe it's supposed to be acceptable for those who took an oath to do no harm, that they should extend that oath and those principles, to a parasite. Well, it basically, sucks the life out of me, without even a little dog to help. To do a comparison, this is me 20 years ago or so. I was about 350 to 360 pounds. And I used to climb up on the antennas, and even though I had a couple prosthetic hips, I got them when I was 30 due to really good luck, and that's a whole nother story. But back then I was the guy who'd say, hey, I think we need a bigger boat. But even though my eating habits really didn't change, well, I didn't eat a whole lot of stuff like this. I ate a lot of good things, and I really wasn't into cakes or candies or any of that other stuff. Even though I didn't really change my eating habits, Junior sure made my size change. That's a picture of me now. Well, maybe about 6 months ago when it was warmer out. But anyway, enough about bitching about all my doctors. So I'll be doing a very short run through on the MRI, and the reason why I believe it's affecting my cognitive abilities, and how it seems to be impairing some things as far as memory and being able to communicate. I don't think it's just old age. It's definitely something more, being that it also accompanies a nice screaming headache all the time. Anyway, so I'll be showing you a short comparison of that. And then I'll move on to the comparison of the CTs from back in August of 2022 to this last CT that I just had in December when I went in for acute pancreatic attack. So let's get on with it, shall we? All right. This is an MRI that was done here last year, not too long ago. And as you can see, it looks like when I was a kid, I might have got a marble stuck up my nose. I don't know exactly what that is. I've seen it on other images I've looked at online, but I don't remember what that's called, and it's benign as far as I know. But what I was primarily curious about was how these structures here around my brain, or I guess it's the mastoid, is definitely not the same. There are some definite differences in these two structures, and both sides of my face, for that matter. I was always under the impression that both sides should be the same. I don't understand why I see so much of a difference in this side as opposed to this one. I mean, some things are the same. The sinuses are not, but this part is rather disturbing. Primarily, the reason why this MRI was taken was to basically investigate why my carotid vein on the right side, underneath these two markers here, has become so enlarged. I don't know if you can see it, but my carotid vein here has actually got some dark segments to it. I don't think should be there. One of the problems with this MRI was it doesn't really show Junior because it's not a iodinated scan. And even if it did show junior, I wouldn't be 100% sure if that's exactly what I was looking at. I have looked at some of these scans repeatedly and through some detail, but I do not see any signs of junior in any of my tissues here. So it's apparently a pretty elusive animal, being that it can't be seen with X-ray or MRI or PET scan. That use food coloring for a dye. The only one that seems to give conclusive results has been a CT with iodinated solution, IV solution. But as you can see, he's just not in there. And as far as my carotid vein goes, its size, that's it over here, that little dot right there. I was actually told that as long as it didn't exceed 10 millimeters, then it was considered to be okay. So yeah, I really wasn't satisfied, and I'm still not satisfied with that so-called explanation. There he is right there, and see, he's not even close to being this size, but yeah, as you get near what they call the carotid tail, he gets a much larger mass. I don't know if you could see that very well, but as it gets over here at the carotid tail, it's rather revealing, this extra material. And as you go further up, it gets thicker and thicker, and even thicker. So they said that's okay. I don't know if I want to believe that. At this moment in time, I guess I don't have too much of a choice. But I also believe this thing has gone intracranial. This really doesn't show it, but I'm pretty certain what I'm seeing as far as not really, like, that's my brain right here, all the way down. Unless my head was cocked over to the side, there's no reason why I shouldn't see it over here on this side. Especially at this area. This is right around the mastoid. So, and if I look at it from the right side, compare the right side here to the left. Let's go to the left. Well, left the other way. See, it almost looks the same, except for, this isn't all dark. Not like it is over here on the other side. So, anyway. Yeah, two of these things. One of these things is not like the other. Which of these things is not quite the same. Anyway, on to the next. Here's a PET scan that was done last year. As you can see, there's no sign of junior whatsoever. Not on my shoulder, not on my right arm. It just doesn't show up in this whatsoever with food dye coloring for a contrast agent. Okay, we're in the radiant DICOM viewer program. Thanks to the good folks there at Radiant DICOM. They was able to come up with this program where I could convert my CTs to 3D. And this the difference between this CT done here at the hospital and the one done at the radiology, the scanning technique, and possibly even the the one that done in August had multiple types of scanning techniques. This CT that was angio that was done at the hospital at the emergency, as you could see, they didn't quite go high enough to see the flower of Junior up here on the subclavian, and you guys actually see the effect as it travels down the vena cava into the heart. As it comes into the heart, it just has a good old time there. So anyway, we could go ahead and look at that with a different contrast, of course. We could change it to some extreme numbers. I don't think I have to go that extreme with this. It's a little bit different from the other one, but still, you could see it's got some rather unusual type inner structure here. But let's get to the 3D side of things, shall we? Alright. As you can see in angio, this thing is, they got the leads going across my chest, because after all, it was an emergency. And that's one of the things they do to make sure that, you're not going to die on them, I guess. But yeah, they put me through the machine with those leads still stuck on me. And you could see a little bit of him up here on the right. Let's let me balance this out so it doesn't look so jumpy. As we rotate him, or her, I'm not sure exactly what gender my creature is, but you can see it's not really here. You don't see the structures here on the back coming up from my center of my back up over through the brachial plexus. But what you do see is this little structure here still on the subclavian. And this is without really doing any kind of adjustments whatsoever. There's my subclavian, and as you can see, there's the extra mass that's on it, making it thicker than what it's supposed to be. And there's that structure sitting up there. Now we could go ahead and take out some of the extra organs, as we've done before. And when we do that, you could see what kind of quality and what kind of results we got on the CT there from the hospital. Now, it's quite possible this section here, what you're seeing is the contrast material, but I think if that was the case, I would see it a lot further. Anyway, it is, as you can see, it comes through and gets onto the vena cava and down into the heart. Quite a ways. It actually looks like, from this new perspective, it would seem as though it's actually wow. It would actually looks as though it's a little more bigger. And the resolution isn't exactly the greatest on this one either. I noticed it doesn't seem to have the resolution, and but being that it is showing up seemingly bigger on my vena cava, it's just mind-blowing. And it feels like it's bigger too. I don't know why, but yep, there's that structure sitting up there that nobody could seem to acknowledge. Yeah, I don't understand. I just do not understand how they could be missing this thing. But like I said, I was in there for something quite different. But anyway, this is what it looks like. This is what Junior looked like in December. Let's put all the stuff back in so he doesn't look as scary. Alright. Like I said, it's the first thing that pops up. It's a big old flower-looking structure. And as I said, I don't understand how they're missing this thing. You know, how can you look at all the arteries coming into the heart, the aorta, and the aortic arch, and all that good fine stuff, and miss this thing? How can you miss the elephant in the torso? You know, how can you miss the rosebud in the torso? Anyway, yeah, it's too bad the PET scan didn't reveal anything, or have anything more revealing to show, to demonstrate. It was more comparable to trying to read a newspaper through London fog. But anyway, I know you've seen this one before. Of course, there's the pre. Go there and show you the pre-scan with no contrast, and you don't see any signs of Junior whatsoever. It's pretty invisible without it. Then when you show him with contrast, that's a different story. And you start seeing all kinds of neat little thorny structures, as I've shown you before. And when you go to 3D, of course, there's that big rose-looking structure up there again. Let me see if I can puff this up without shutting it down. Balance it out so it isn't so jumpy. And puff it up here. There we go. And of course, instantly, without manipulating or touching anything, there's this structure here that shouldn't be there. And of course, the extra mass on the subclavian. These are two different CTs. Let me show you the raw CT from the hospital. And of course, with this one though, this one was done back in August, and this one, being that it was a much higher quality scanning procedure and possibly equipment, it was able to reveal many of these other filaments and fine structures that you're not going to see in the emergency room CT scan. Okay, this is the hospital. This is the emergency room coronal 2 millimeter CT scan, if you will. And as you can see, the big honking structure there. And let's let's go ahead and throw some filters in on it. Let's see if we get a little more detail on it, shall we? Usually, I like these filters right around 4100, and the other one right around 500. Possibly going to need a little more than that, huh? But when looking at this stuff, let's see if I get him a little more better position. It looks as though some of the little pod structures on my subclavian flower, if you will, it looks like they've opened up. I don't know if I could even clean that up more. I could try. Yeah, it's just not gonna. I can only get so much out of this particular scan. Yeah, but I still see some of the little structures there, but it looks like a couple of them might have opened. I see an open structure here, and a lot down here, and of course further as you go through it, most of them all opened up, and it looks pretty huge. So, but as you can see, it still progresses into the heart, and see if I could pan this thing around a little bit. And with this particular scan, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but it would seem as though it's actually, by the discoloration here, the change in gray, it looks like it's pretty well into one of the lower chambers of the heart. I can only presume that it's on the walls, it's on the inner walls, or maybe on the outer. It's hard to really tell from these images, especially when I was looking at it from the axial. Let's see if I could go back to it. They really don't give you an axial, do they? That's a sagittal, that's a right oblique, that's an aortic arch, it's a left oblique, a lung, chest. Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, these little filaments in here, it's rather disturbing, being that they're on the inside. I mean, I understood this creature to be on the outside. You can almost see where it comes through the vertebrae also, as I've demonstrated in a couple of the other videos. But yeah, that's very unusual. That or maybe that's it right there. Yeah, I think that was it. I just don't know how these radiologists miss this. Anyway, I guess I'm done showing you the difference between this one that was done at the hospital, and of course the other one that was done here almost a couple of years ago. Yeah, let's zoom in on that again, on that let's yeah, this was with the contrast also back then. Put some filters in. Oops, wrong one. filters. Very interesting. Yeah, these filters on this particular one don't seem to respond the same way. But then again, there they are. And I know doctors might try to say, well, this is just the contrast solution. Well, yeah, see, it looks as though this older image, Junior didn't go that far. He only went to this level here in the heart. Yep, I don't see him any around there, but here he is over here. Of course, kind of wrapping himself away as he goes on up, as he proceeds, and making himself at home, going around the arch here. But there he is, progressing up and through. And this was done at the radiology place here back in the day. Yeah, this higher resolution definitely shows the progression of him coming through the spine, but doesn't show this on the other one, and definitely the other one shows a greater a greater progression in size. He's gotten bigger. Anyway, all you lucky YouTubers out here, as you could see, now I have two CTs from two different times, from two different places, by two different radiologists that have missed this big honking structure on the subclavian. And so it's not just it wasn't a one-time phenomenon or error or glitch, if you will. There is actually something there, even though it hasn't been acknowledged in a report. Just because it isn't in the report doesn't mean it doesn't exist, especially when it's right there in a quantifiable radiological analysis. I also want to give an apology out there to the Reddit moderator. I went over there to their website and I tried to publicize Junior on there, and the moderator basically kicked me off, banned me from the site, putting anything on there. They had to fit the microscopic criteria in order to be on their website. I let them know that not all parasites are microscopic. To not include larger organisms was rather limiting in knowledge and rather stifling in acceptability. So we kind of went back and forth until the moderator suggested that if I needed help, I should go seek a doctor. As I said, I do not care for presumptuous people. I don't know if I said that, but yeah, I don't care for presumptuous people. So when the moderator said that, I realized that the moderator had not bothered to even taken a look at any of the information I was trying to publicize. And henceforth, I did something rather unprofessional. I called the moderator a twit. And they came back and said something about my charming character, and And I told him to go and take a look in a mirror, or take a long, hard look in a mirror. And they've just basically told me to enjoy being banned. If it means that I'm being banned from a bunch of obtuse and obstinately minded, narrow-minded individuals, then hey, it's a pleasure. Thank you. You people that believe that your criteria should only exist in a microscope, and to not even look at the data, to just assume it's your typical toilet variety of organism. This isn't a flea under the fingernail or a tapeworm. This is something that's never been cataloged. And for you to go tell people to go look it up in a book, good luck. You're not going to find this thing in a book. I've been through thousands of web pages on parasites, and nothing even close to this. The only thing that came close to it was an AI. I went to an AI, online AI, and I put the question regarding human vein encapsulating plant parasite, world incidents. And the first day I put that question out there, basically just exactly in those words, it gave me several incidents around the world since the 1980s. And it wasn't extremely specific, but it definitely gave a description of the type of plant or species it was, and exactly the date and the place. And interestingly enough, I did copy that data. I did save that web page and download it. I went and put the same question back to the AI a week or a couple of weeks later, and it told me no such data was in its file, or it had, that such a organism couldn't possibly exist. So somebody's manipulating the data. When it gives you information that's different from what it did here the week before, that's a little bit uncharacteristic of a machine. Generally, a machine, it's a scientific, based on scientific principle. If you can't repeat the same process, then the damn machine's broken. So either that, or somebody's screwing with the programming. Obviously, they're putting the question, being it's very obscure, to a doctor who thinks they know it all, and they're programming the machine to say that no such things are quite possible. Interestingly enough, no one has proven me wrong by doing a biopsy. So, all you so-called professionals, put that in your pipe and smoke it until you can show me something otherwise. Other than that, I do apologize for being non-professional and calling you out there a twit, but prove me wrong. Anyway, y'all, I hope you enjoyed some of the things that I could show you in these videos. Perhaps you could help other people that have the same problem with the medical paradigm. Being that they're so stubbornly obstinate, I thought doctors were inclined to new discoveries. They wanted to get their name in the medical journal. So I've decided that my new strategy will be, when I go see my new primary care, will be number 20. I'm just going to tell them that I got an extreme pain in my right shoulder. I can feel my pulse, and it radiates all the way up my neck and my jaw. And and somewhat to my back. I'm not going to go for the source of Junior, and that's all I'm going to tell him. I'm not going to tell him anything else. Not like I have with these other doctors. I'm not going to show them a picture of Junior so they could have some reason to run away and ban me from going to the office. I'm not going to give them a letter like I have to all these other doctors indicating what I believe Junior is, how long he's been there, all the specifics, all my symptoms. I'm not going to do that again. Because it doesn't help. Doctors don't want to know what's wrong with you. They want to be able to put their own labels on you, and if there's something different or something new, they want to be able to take the credit for it. And I figured, well, if this doctor gets all the way to the point where he takes a biopsy and he goes, oh, well, we got some kind of new species or something or other, blah, 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 and they want to go there and name it after themselves, I'm going to go, sorry, you better look at my videos because I already have dibs on what this thing is. I have a YouTube poor man's copyright. Being I hate to be right, but hey, there's no other explanation for something that likes to attach itself to the veins and suck CO2. Anyway, I hope you found this video useful, helpful, maybe even enjoyable. I know it isn't very enjoyable for me. I have like 50,000 other things I'd rather be doing than bitching about my woes or creatures in my body doing strange things. But in my next video I'll get into the symptoms, what this thing does, what it has done, and how I believe it's affecting my personality and all that neat stuff. I don't know about DMT or anything like that. No one has done any tests. Well, I might explain a few things. If you know what DMT is. If you don't, go look it up. You'll find it quite interesting, and its uses and throughout time. Anyway, you take care out there on YouTube, and please share this, if you will, with other people, maybe some professionals out there that really want to make a difference. That hell, I'll even let them. If anybody finds me the right physician out there, or scientist, or researcher, or whatever, and they acknowledge this, I'll let them put their name in the book, as the official discoverer of a new tropical disease, a new parasite, if you will. Anyway, this is Robert signing off. Until we do it again.
This is the worst case of bully I have ever seen.
What? No!
I'll do everything known to medical science. Aha! Nothing to worry about. But there's nothing I can do.